Hey guys, welcome to Elevate with Precious. I'm your host, Precious Ntapera, and this is the space where we talk about growth in your mindset, your faith, your
Artlist.io.
habits, and even your finances. Because we believe that growth or change doesn't just happen, we have to be intentional about pursuing it. On this platform, we believe in growth in every area and part of your life, be it in wisdom, purpose, and faith because
Music
we are
licensing
called to
reimagined.
so much more. God has placed potential inside each and every one of us, and it is our responsibility to nurture it, grow it, and walk in it boldly. Whether it's managing your finances, building better habits, or strengthening your walk with God, this is where we have real conversations to help you move forward, improve, and grow. Because whenever you grow, everything around you grows too.
Artlist.io.
So if you're ready to learn, grow, and take practical steps toward the life you're called to live, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Now, in our last episode, we looked at why it is important to have a budget. But today, we're going to be looking at the budgeting attitude. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, Precious, we've already covered all of that. Let me stop you right there. This episode isn't about what budgeting is or why it's important. Today, we're diving into the mindset of budgeting. Because let's be real, if your mindset is off, it doesn't matter how many budgeting apps you download or how many times you try to make a budget, it's just not going to work. So, today, we're going to be delving into what a budgeting attitude actually is. Now, before we talk about the wrong mindset people have for budgeting, let me just highlight something. Personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% knowledge. What do I mean by this? What I mean is, you don't really need to know a lot of fundamentals, but you really need to know how to act when it comes to money. For example, you might be a person who is on a $1,000 paycheck, and maybe you also happen to be a person who absolutely loves all of the latest Apple products. And as soon as your salary comes in, you're off to buy the latest iPhone product, be it an iWatch, iPhone, iPad, or AirPods, whatever it is. And we all know that Apple products usually range between $500 or a little over $1,000. And if you're a person who doesn't know how to act when it comes to your money, or if you're someone without self control who just loves immediate gratification or self indulgence, then you would use most of your pay, meaning that you've actually used half or all of your paycheck to purchase something that you don't need, neglecting the fact that you have actual bills and actual needs that you need to cater to. So, finances aren't really about knowing how to do it, but rather they are about knowing how to act when it comes to money and having the right mindset about that. Remember, what you can't control will always control you. So, with that being said, the biggest reason people fail at budgeting isn't because they don't know how to, it's because they think about money and finances in the wrong way. So, let's talk about some of the wrong mindsets people may have about money. Wrong mindset number one: budgeting is just a restriction. I think this is the number one, maybe, misconception about budgeting because people think if I make a budget, I won't be able to enjoy my life. But actually, if you spend all of your money on something that you could actually wait to purchase or get when you have enough money, that actually leads you to not enjoying your life. So I think it's a huge misconception when people think that, oh, budgeting is actually a restriction. It actually isn't. It actually creates more room for you to be able to purchase or get whatever you want in the future when you have enough money than just getting it in that moment, leaving you broke. Wrong mindset number two. Open quote. I'll start budgeting when I make more money. Close quote. This one is a very tricky thought. A lot of people think that budgeting is for people with extra money. But as a matter of fact, budgeting is actually how you make the most of what you have, no matter your income. I will use a very personal example from my own past experience. About 3 years ago, I used to earn a salary of 400 US dollars a month. Now, back then, I used to be a heavy spender. I used to love buying things the minute I wanted, or spending all of my salary on something that I just kind of felt like I really wanted. But I actually started to save or budget the little amounts that I had. And by the end of a year, I had managed to accumulate enough money to start a small business. So basically, whenever no matter how much you make or no matter how much you have, whether it's pocket money, whether it's passive income, whether it's your actual income, try to make the most of what you have. Wrong mindset number three: it's a taboo to talk about money. Now, different people from different parts of the world have different religions and beliefs. But in my own case, being a Christian, and I've also spoken to people from other religions, and they've kind of shared the same experience whereby it's a taboo to mention money or to wanna learn about money because people will kind of perceive you or look at you as someone who's greedy or worldly. People think that okay, it's only for worldly people to pursue things about finances because as Christians, we're supposed to be, focused on spiritual aspects of things. And so I think that's a huge misconception. I do think that we do need to normalize talking about how to budget, how to manage our finances, because like I said in the previous episode, God wants us to be good stewards of his resources. So let's normalize talking about budgeting. Let's normalize talking about finances. Let's learn more about it in our homes, in our schools. That way, we do have a better chance at a better future when we empower our communities, future generations, our friends with the knowledge of knowing how to manage finances. So I think when people kind of perceive or yeah kind of perceive that someone talking about wanting to learn more about money is greedy, is worldly, is carnal, that is for me a really huge misconception. It's a huge misconception, and we need to challenge that opinion in our different communities. The fifth wrong mindset is what I would like to call the whatever happens happens syndrome. This is a mindset whereby you don't really make any plans about your future. You just kind of go with the flow. You're not intentional about deciding what to do and when to do something with your money. You just kind of spend however, you don't plan on how you spend. You kind of take the days as they come, and you're not really intentional about making certain plans for your future. And this is when you actually become a victim to circumstances because you're letting things happen to you. You're not being active in how to plan your future. So you're just gonna take life as it comes. Life is what you make it. And I strongly do believe that whatever you do now is a seed towards your future. So if you decide to spend your money however without being very intentional about every single penny, I still struggle with this too. It's not something that is learned overnight. It's something that you have to build on. Without being intentional on every single penny that you spend, I do think you're setting yourself up for failure, if you know what I mean. We have to learn to be intentional with everything that we do for a better future. So basically, some people have all of these mindsets, some only have one, or maybe some have mindsets that I didn't even mention. Either way, if you're looking to become more financially free this year, these are some of the mindsets that you should not be having. Now that we've had a look at some of the wrong mindsets, let's have a look at some of the correct mindsets to have whenever we're dealing with budgeting, finances, or money in general. There's a saying that goes, poor people spend their money and save what's left, and rich people save their money and spend what's left. And basically, what most people do is that when they get money, they spend it on all the things they feel that they want and save whatever is left. Whereas the wiser thing to do would be to allocate a percentage of your income towards your own savings first, then spend the rest. So there's a certain mindset that helps you budget your finances well. leading you to financial freedom. And here are 6 ways that will help you instill a more positive mindset towards your finances. New mindset number 1: forgive yourself of past financial mistakes. We all make mistakes. And if you let your mistakes eat you up and pull you down and you end up living in guilt, that won't help you. But rather, identify what your mistakes are, what causes them, and try to learn from them. New mindset number 2: always be aware of your money mindset. Understand what drives you to make decisions. Everything we do, consciously and subconsciously, is related to our minds. And usually, the number one driver of decisions is to minimize discomfort. I mean, think about it. Every time you've made a decision, it was based off whether or not you'll experience some level of comfort or some level of confidence. For example, every time you've decided to sleep in or sleep late or to not wake up early, it's because it gives you some level of comfort. But actually, whenever it comes to finances, whenever you decide to spend money just because you think that whatever it is you're spending money on is bringing you a level of comfort, try to flip that thought. Think, oh, if I save this money, that would give you comfort. Then thinking of budgeting as a way of restricting you. So basically be aware of your own money mindset. New mindset number 3: budgeting is a habit, not a one-time event. Don't just try budgeting once and move on. Make it a habit. It's just like brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth is a small, consistent action that keeps your health strong. So is budgeting. Don't just budget once whenever you want to get maybe the new iPhone 16 or a new car or a new house. Make it a habit. Make it a habit of budgeting the little amounts that you have every month, wherever the money may come from. I mean, imagine if you saved all the small amounts of money that you got every month or every week. How much money will you have by the end of the year? So even if you aren't saving for any specific reason, just do it anyway. New mindset number 4: don't compare yourself with other people. I'm sure we've all heard this, even as pertaining to other things that aren't necessarily budgeting or finances or money. But, anyways, the context is still the same. We all have different incomes, we're all different people, we all have different commitments. So we can't really spend or save money the exact same way as the other person. Know that you're different and try to adjust your spending habits or your budgeting habits according to your own lifestyle. And new mindset number 5: be grateful. I know, again, we've heard it from somewhere or someone, or we've read it somewhere, but now you're hearing it again from me. Be grateful. Gratitude helps you focus on what you have rather what you don't have. And that feeling of focusing on what you do not have isn't really good for your mental state of mind. That actually pushes you or drives you to making wrong decisions. So be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what is coming. And stop focusing on the things that you don't have. So, how do we actually make this mindset shift stick? First, stop making budgeting feel like it's a punishment. Budgeting isn't about saying no to everything, it's about saying yes to what really matters. Second, make budgeting a part of your routine. The same way you check your phone every day, start checking in on your money. Money is a part of your life, so your budget should be too. And lastly, celebrate the wins. Did you actually stick to your budget for a week? That's a win. Did you stop yourself from buying something random and put that money toward a goal? That's a win. Budgeting is a journey, not perfection. So celebrate every win. Alright, so now that we've actually set the record straight, budgeting is not your enemy. It's actually the key to your financial freedom. And with that being said, join us in our next episode where we'll be getting into the how, real life practical ways to make budgeting work for you. So if you've loved this episode, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss out on an episode. And again, I'd like to remind all of you that this is a platform built for empowering personal growth in all areas of your life. So if you have a question or topic that you'd like to
Music
have discussed on this
licensing
platform,
reimagined.
please go on ahead and email us the question on the email address provided in the description. And don't forget to like and comment and share. Until next time, don't forget that but a budget isn't a limit, it's a launch pad. Until our next episode, see you next time. Bye.
Artlist.io